What is so important about driving faster than anyone else?
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Good afternoon everybody and welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson for another round of the Sim Racers Asia GT Simulator Championship. We're coming from you, let me start again. Today's race is at Zandvoort Grand Prix circuit. What a great track, very tight, very short lap times here. It's going to be tricky to overtake, but I think we'll definitely see a few moves going into turn one and maybe the infield section as well through the switchback. We're, 3 races into the championship now, and well, I have to say, just looking at the team's championship, it's pretty close fighting amongst everybody at the moment. Redback Racing leading the way on 137 points, Green Hornet Racing in there in second place, 122, and with 117 you've got Eurasia Sim Sports, so very close for the top 3. JFF are your 4th place sitter on 112, and rounding out the top 5 is Black Adam Motorsports with 100 points, so just 37 points covers the top 5 teams at the moment. I dare say by the time we reach round 11 that's going to spread out a little bit, but it's been a great mixture of teams and everyone doing well in different series. Don't forget, we are broadcasting the Clubman's race over at Checker Flag Interactive as well, so if you want to check in on that and see how the Clubman drivers are doing, then just tune into the live stream over there. I'll actually briefly tell you what's going on with the championship over there as well before we start to take a look at the Pro-Am drivers. So Alex Paul there in his BMW Z4 is leading the way on 61 points, followed by Shane Reynolds, and then Jacques Fashak there, Alex Marshall and DK Lee round out your top 5. Just having a quick look, see if there's any notable names that we are used to seeing here in the combined broadcast, but of course our series organizer is in there, Mark Lang in 14th place, so perhaps not the best of starts for the season for our admin. Taking a look at the Pro-Am standings, we've got Bobby Ivanovic. I'm not sure Bobby's here today. Looking at the entry list, I don't think he is, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. Obviously only 29 drivers can make the start of this race with the limited grid spots, so yeah, a few drivers I'm sure going to be a little bit disappointed out there today, and it may look like Janovic might be one that didn't make it in time, so It's one of the problems with this Zandvoort circuit, but yeah, so a championship leader going to have to probably take this as a drop. He might not be around anyway, so I might be doing the sim and injustice there for not having enough spots. But second place on 63 points, just 3 points behind, is Aaron Lee in his McLaren MP4 12. Tim Jackson in his rough. So great to see all the manufacturers represented in the top 3. Oh well, I say all the manufacturers, of course. I'm ignoring the Ford GTs, but Tobias Cherney in 12th place is the highest of the 4. So he, of course, missed last week's round. So we'll be trying to fight back, I'm sure, this week. So we just saw a little shot of him in the background there as he was coming around. Lewis Cagali is in 4th place with Marcus Lindemann, who of course missed last week's race as well. So a few drivers having to take early drops in the series, so we'll see how that's going to pan out. But I dare say Marcus is going to try and jump back to the lead. Looking at his qualifying time at the moment, he is at provisional pole position. Let me bring the ticker up on screen while I'm talking about this so you can get an idea of what's going on out there. His pole position time, his margin at the moment is 1 second. No, it's not. It's 0.6 of a second. On my mistake. So yeah, quite dominant. But we've seen this from Marcus many times. Just as a reminder, next week we are at Virginia International Raceway, so tune in for that one, same sort of time. I dare say we're going to be on Checkered Flag Interactive as well. I know that Mark is trying to organise something more permanent, I think, as far as the dual broadcast goes, so stay tuned for some news and information about that. Right, let's just take a quick look then at the grid as it stands at the moment. We've got obviously Aaron Lee sitting there in 2nd place. Tobias Cherney actually in his Ford doing a great job in 3rd place. Danny Conlon there. I haven't seen Danny before, so new name to the series. He's in 4th place. Dongwoo Gang returning as well this week. He skipped a week last week. So Tim Jackson back and in 6th place provisionally at the moment. Gavin Sadler 7th. We've got Adika Maluna in 8th place, Kevin Hung in 9th, and Philip Stoneman is rounding out your top 10 at the moment. We were just provisionally riding on board with Gavin Sadler. A lot of Australian and New Zealand drivers in the championship again this week, in the race this week, sorry. And it's great to see actually that that sort of Pacific regions really sort of embrace this series. So a lot of Asian drivers, a lot of Club Asia drivers, and a lot of Australians taking part as well, and a good turnout of Europeans too. So it really just goes to show where the series is going from. Just to remind everybody, we have over 80 sign-ups for this league, and we've ended up having to split the servers up into 2. So the Pro-Am and the Clubman's now race on separate servers, just to try not to disappoint anyone. However, I think 29 grid stalls has probably hurt just a little bit this week. Excuse me. Just to briefly talk about Zandvoort circuit for a second. Obviously an ex-Formula 1 circuit back in the day. Hasn't changed too much over the years. Had a little remodel. Looks like Marcus Lenderman's sporting a Coanda Sim Sport livery there, so yeah, great to see Marcus joining one of the biggest teams in sim racing, so good on him. Definitely showing what he's made of in the GT cars of late as well, so I'm not surprised one of the big teams has come in and grabbed him for that, so good on him. Let's have a quick look. I'm quite surprised to see Lewis down in 14th place at the moment, so strong a couple of weeks ago, last week, and then of course he took part in the endurance race as well that day at Spa and was very strong there. I think he finished 2nd in that race too, so I expect he'll probably pick up, maybe just not having that much fun, maybe not as much practice as normal. I dare say his race pace is going to see him fight in and around that top 5 or 6 places, so one to watch moving forward. Warren Pickering, another driver we expect to see up there much more. It's currently sat in 15th place as well, so Who else have we got down there? Paul Nelson down in 20th place. Paul, again, another really strong driver who seems to do very well in the races, struggling out there in qualifying. There's a few guys really struggling. Driver that hasn't put a time in at the moment, Miko Nassi. Now we know how quick Miko is. Season 2 champion of 2014, I believe it was. Pit Marcus Stenderman for that championship that season, so he could definitely run up the front, I'm sure. We haven't seen him for a little while, so maybe just getting back used to the car out there now, so we'll keep an eye and see how he does. I'm just going to take a 5-minute break just while we... A 5-minute break? 1 minute break, sorry. Just while we finish up the rest of qualifying. I'll be back for the start of the race. Right, sorry about that. Just had to go and get a swig of water. I could have easily have dried out pretty quickly there, and it wouldn't have been pleasant listening to that. Right, let's just see. Everybody's just finishing up at the moment. Take a quick glance at what we're going to do with the weather. Today, 63 degrees humidity, wind speed 14 kilometers an hour. So it's a little bit gusty out there, clear sky, so track temperature is going to be quite hot, I would think, out there. Air temp 20, it's quite cold out there, so track temp only 35 degrees. So actually, I think tyres are going to last more than long enough in the race. So we dare say we're going to see some people decide to go for just fuel, no tyres in the stop. Definitely going to be some interesting strategies out there. Give a shout out to all of our broadcast partners and sponsors. So GT Omega Racing, always supporting us. Thank you very much for that. If you're interested in a rig or office chair or sort of gaming chair, something like that, then yeah, jump on their website, have a look. Obviously, triple monitor stands and all sorts over there. Leo Bodnar as well, one of our main team sponsors. So if you're looking at maybe something like a sim steering system, do go over, check them out, or G27 adapter cables or something like that. They're the place to do. Little electronics, go check them out. Let's not forget our series as well. So Pit Talk Asia, I'm not sure how things are faring with Mark. Maybe he can fill us in with some comments later on below. But we're hoping to get them back on really soon, and then the whole Sim Racers Asia group. Right, let me just quickly take a run through the top qualifying spots. In pole position, we've got Marcus Lenderman with a 133.4, Aaron Lee with a 134.0, so those times held, and we are indeed 0.6 of a second advantage, so going to be tricky for anyone, I think, to get up to Marcus today. Miko Nassi, who we thought might give him a run for his money, is way down in 28th place at the moment, so... Tobias Cherney got 3rd place, so great qualifying for him in the Ford. Good to see that up there. Danny Conlon in 4th place. Tim Jackson is in 5th. Dongwoo Gang 6th. Gavin Sadler, followed by Dika Maluna in 8th place. Kevin Hung and Philip Stoneman round out your top 10. Then we've got Jong there, Draveguard, Mansell, Kagali and Pickering, 11th through to 15th place. Matt Malone, Brett Woods, Brett Gardettes. John King and Paul Nelson all the way down in 20th place, couldn't improve. George Fullerton 21st, Tim Ballinger in 26th, Harrison O'Brien 23rd, Mark Warmington 24th, and Richard Brookfield in 25th place. The last few runners to qualify were Brett Wilson in 26 with 136.4, Pat O'Hara, and then Miko Nassi really struggled to set any kind of time whatsoever. Just want to give a big shout out to all of you guys that are tuning in, watching us live. Thank you for tuning in. It's always great to have some live audience. Got any questions for me or want to see any kind of battles or anything like that, post it on the on YouTube, and I will try to keep you informed with what's going on with those. I know there's a few drivers out there. I've got some fans, so yeah, we'll try and keep you in the loop the best we can. Of course, we're just waiting for the pace car to start to form this grid up before we go racing here. To say, I think it's going to be quite an interesting race. We're going to have to keep an eye out for Miko coming through. I'm almost convinced. I can't think that actually that's his relative pace. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a strong race with him coming through, and then of course we've got Marcus up front, and the guys sort of second, third, fourth, fifth. They're actually very, very close, and I dare say that we could see some interesting battles throughout the race. One last thing before we go racing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like us, share us. Let's try and get the this series out there as much as possible, exposed onto Facebook and Google Plus and everything else like that. Obviously helps Apex Racing TV with the views and the subscribers and whatnot, but it also helps the series. So if you like the series, you know, get on there and share it. Tell your friends about it. You know, it's an interesting series, great concept, and you know, we've got a lot of drivers in here as well now from all over the world, and definitely needs to be pushed for what it is. And you think of the prizes that Mark has been able to get organised in previous seasons. It's absolutely fantastic, and I think moving forward, definitely we're going to get something like that back in the future. Such a slow pace lap round here. One of the problems I always think with the pace laps, you definitely want to start maybe on the back straight or something like that. Would have made much more sense for the parade lap. But oh, here we are, full lap. Even this little short circuit seems to take a while. Tim Jackson there, looking to go a few better than what he has done in recent weeks. Going to have his work cut out for him this week. Tobias Cherney in the Ford GT. I say it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Definitely improved his qualifying compared to Interlagos, so must feel like he has a much better pace. And we saw how much quicker the Ford was during the pit stop phase, so that really could come into contention later on in the race. Whether or not he'll be able to keep somewhere in the realms of Marcus is not known. That's going to be the interesting thing. And of course, Brett Wilson, definitely a huge improved driver this season as well, finds himself second place on the grid, so that Redback Racing team. Dongwoo Gang, just spotted Dongwoo Gang, 26th place. What happened to him in qualifying? Another driver that's going to have to work his way all through this field. Yeah, not really sure. It's just not 26th place, is that? I'm not really sure what that's about. So there we go. It's just some random timing glitch on my screen. I got all worried there for a minute. So, but no, he's not. He's way up there in about 4th place. So ignore me for that one. And sorry for alarming any of the Dongwoo fans out there. So we're just rounding. Where are we? Yeah, we're just rounding the final corner at the moment. So let's just jump on board or jump up to the leaders. Brett Wilson seems to have dropped back. Brett, obviously, again with the timing error. Not actually on track at the moment, so yeah, I said second place, most improved, one of the most improved drivers, but yeah, something going on there, so ignore me for that. Love those timing glitches. Here we go then for round number 3 of the Sim Racers Asia GT Championship from Zandvoort. It looks like a couple of drivers just got a bit of a tardy start there, and a few people were having to check up and get offline. Everybody seems to have got down the main straight. Let's keep an eye through turn 1. Marcus Lenderman leads the way. He's got a great start. Just on board with Gavin Sadler. He looks like he's got through. I'm not hearing anything further back. This tight chicane can sometimes be a problem, but I think just apart from a few guys just running a little bit wide here and there, I think everybody's got through nice and safely, which is great to see. Tim Ballinger moved teams last week. Obviously, we saw the announcement on Facebook, moved over to Redback Racing, so looking to try and improve his position in the championship. And it seems we've got somebody just going a little bit wide there. I think that's Warren. Oh, it is. It's Warren Pickering. Just about brings it back on track. No one caught up or involved in that. Let's just have a look. Marcus already leaping away. Aaron Lee is in second place. I'm sorry, Aaron, saying it was Brett there. Totally messed that up. He has got Bias Cherney very, very close to him. We expect these guys to be really close, just 100, what was there, just a tenth of a second separating those guys in qualifying. And but yeah, Marcus already starting to find his feet. 1.3 second margin going on to the end of the first lap here. So just goes to show the performance that he has out there. Everybody else streaming through, pretty much line of start, little gap starting to form just back there as they're coming around now, but pretty close. That's Matt Malone with a 1 second gap to Victor Dravegaard there. Just checking in with Miko Nasi just to see where he is. Obviously one that we said we'll keep an eye on, because I expect him to work his way through. He's just right behind Warren Pickering after Warren made his mistake, and that's Richard Brookfield just having a little look up the inside of Nasi there. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on his progress as it's going. Have a quick look. Tim Jackson is always dropped down to 7th place behind Gavin Sadler, so just not quite got the start that he wanted. He needs to obviously recover and he really needs a strong result. He's had some terrible luck at the start of this season. Just hearing actually Brett Wilson hasn't managed to take to the grids. He's got some sort of pedal problem. The brake pedal just dragging all the way around the circuit, so he's had to call it a night already. So really bad luck for Brett Wilson again. So yeah, he's just picking up on on what I said about him in second place. Still an improved driver though, Brett, I will say that. You're up here competing. Oh, sorry about that. Some interference in there. I say interference in the background. Looney Tunes going mad. Marcus Lindemann just puts the fastest lap of the race in. He's absolutely flying now. 2.3 seconds clear. So Goanda Simsport's newest driver looks like he is settled right into that team, and they're working well. And kind of expected this from Marcus anyway, regardless, even back when he was in the Mad Cow team. But yeah, absolutely flying out there. Tobias starting to put a little bit of pressure on Aaron Lee, but not really close enough to make a move at the moment. Oh, I'm hearing some sort of contact further back. What was that? Maybe just a little bit of rubbing. Oh, George Fullerton running a little bit wide there, but I don't think that was the contact that I heard, as he's backing it up to get back onto the circuit at a more favourable angle. Matt Malone 0.6 of a second behind Paul Marshall, that is, just ahead of him at the moment. Paul Marshall in turn is 0.6 of a second behind Chandra Young. Pack is still pretty close. Miko Nasi still hasn't managed to get past Warren Pickering. If anything, actually Warren's pulling away from Nasi, so Nazi's struggling a little bit out there, and like I say, just not found his feet in the car as of yet. Just jumping back to this battle for P2 as Marcus really is away free now. I mean, 3.5 seconds flying. He was 1.2 seconds quicker that time by. So that sort of pace is going to build up a pit stops advantage in absolutely no time. But Aaron Lee definitely has his hands full, and maybe that's perhaps what's slowing him down a little bit. Tobias just still 0.6 of a second behind. He's having to worry too much in the mirror and not going forward. Danny Conlon has said, new driver in the series, haven't seen him before, looking very, very strong in 4th place, just half a second behind Tobias there. Let's just focus on Dan and jump on board actually. So the can have a look at his driving technique out there. A lot of drivers, some very aggressive, others very smooth. Just those first initial corners, it looks like Danny very, very smooth driver, not really working the steering wheel that much, even just minor little corrections there, that's all. Yeah, very smooth through there, so almost button-esque with that. We'll keep an eye on Danny, see how he does. Hopefully he'll be back throughout the series, and this won't just be a one race thing, because definitely looks like a driver that can compete in the top there. Lovely looking skin on the car as well, just a bit unique, a bit different. But yeah, so Blanchpan livery is sponsoring there, as well as the H2 sponsorship. Right, 0.2 of a second between Philip Stoneman and Maluna. Those guys really starting to come together now. There's well, we've got Tim Jackson just ahead of those as well, but probably out of range as far as anything goes to slow down Maluna. So Stoneman looking strong, wants to try and pick up a place this battle for 7th and 8th position on the track. Just looking a little bit further back as well, Paul Nelson really starting to make some sort of progress too. He's up to 15th place, 0.3 of a second behind Brett Garrett's there. Brett is Brett actually lapped a little bit quicker that last time by, so maybe we're just late to it and Brett's made a move, but actually looks to me like it's Paul definitely seems to be the more aggressive of the two, wanting to get past there. It definitely appears to be being held up. A bit further back we've got Richard Brookfield really starting to get close to Miko Nassi now, 0.2 of a second between them. Had a little think about that into this chicane. We've got Lewis Kigali behind, and Lewis, yeah, he's not having a great race meeting. I'm just guessing probably just not quite as much practice or preparation set up, not quite right. Can be tricky round here at Zandvoort, very bumpy in places, and car's got to work well over the curbs, otherwise you lose an awful lot of time. Miko Nassi all of a sudden really close to Warren Pickering as well. That don't really know what happened there. He's having a little think about it, pulls to the inside. Warren Pickering doesn't really fight that too much, just lets the Finnish driver through. Nassi up to 20th place. Harrison O'Brien ahead, starting to put the pressure on the blue flag racing driver of Mark Warmington. Mark in the rough. I think Mark would say, would agree that he's had a little bit of bad luck in the series. Not had the best of starts, found himself almost a lap down last week, pretty early on, and yeah, just tried to recover there. It's not, where is he at the moment? 18th place. Just one driver who just likes to try and keep it clean all the way through, make his positions through consistency and trying not to make any mistakes if he can. But yeah, he's definitely coming under a little bit of pressure at the moment, and that is hurting his lap times, as you can see, just compromising his lines here and there to defend from Harrison O'Brien. Got a change of position going on between Chandra Yong and I think that's Paul Mansell there, so not quite sure exactly what happened. Let's have a look at the ticker, see if that hasn't quite updated. It was Young in 11th place as that comes through, so Mansell just moves himself up into 11th place. I still don't get tired of saying that, Paul, so sorry if I emphasise the point. Little gap ahead of them between Victor Dravegaard and Kevin Hunt, just sort of 1 second between both of those drivers. Maluna very, very close. All three cars very, very close at the moment. So that's Tim Jackson, Maluna and Stoneman very, very close. It looks more like Stoneman's going to get a little run here. There's no real way up through this section. So narrow. You could barely get two cars, and Jackson runs it wide into the gravel. He's going to recover. Wow, how many places is he going to lose here? He's come out behind Kevin. He's got Draveguard right behind him as well. So yeah, little mistake from Jackson there. He's obviously not enjoying this circuit as well. Struggled a little bit in qualifying. And race pace is definitely normally Tim's strong point, but yeah, makes a little mistake there, loses a position down to 9th place. Let's jump back with Stoneman. As you can see, you could barely see him behind Maluna there, just 0.2 of a second between them going into that chicane. Just take a very quick look at our leader, still flying out there. 8.2 seconds clear now, so just amazingly dominant, crazy pace out there, and yeah, last time by 1.2 seconds again, so that's pretty consistent. We might have lost Aaron Lee. Oh, it looks like he's dropping. Tell me that's not a disconnection. I think it might be a disconnection. We don't see him on track. He is dropping down the timing sheet. Oh, this will be such a shame. Oh no, he's back. Thought for a minute he's gone. That is not what you want. He disappeared for so long there. Tobias probably thought that was it, that was the position up into second place, but boom, there he is back. And yeah, God, that can really upset your your rhythm when you see a driver disappear for that long and then all of a sudden jump back on the track. So, but Tobias still trying to work the pressure on Lee, maybe waiting for a mistake. We know the history really that Tobias, he doesn't force a move. He won't go for a move just for the sake of it. No sort of late overtaking maneuvers or anything like that. He'd much prefer to sort of force a driver into his mistake or wait for a safe run to do that. Just to jump back, as those gaps look pretty stagnant at the moment. Maluna and Stoneman still that 0.2 of a second between the two of them. Stoneman has a little look. Maluna forced just to defend the inside. It's going to make him a tiny little bit vulnerable on the exit, but just think these GT3s have enough power that this little run to this right hander, it's very difficult to get a move done unless you're completely alongside. So I think Luna knows that as long as Stoneman doesn't get around the outside of turn 1, then he should be pretty safe. Of course, if you do carry the outside lane, you will have the inside for the hairpin, and that pretty much guarantees the overtake manoeuvre is done. Paul Nelson up to 15th place. He's still hot on the tail of Brett there, so not much progression from these guys. I did say it was going to be quite tricky to overtake here at Zandvoort, and that's proving true, especially when you consider we've got like Miko Nassi down in 19th place. He's got Harrison O'Brien just ahead of him. I don't know if Miko's saving tyres out there or saving fuel or anything like that. I mean, in fairness, let's just see how this race pans out for him, because many a times I've called something and said, oh no, he's not going to finish anything past sort of like, you know, 15th place, and then all of a sudden they're in the top 5 fighting at the end of the race. So, oh, he runs a little bit wide. That's very uncharacteristic though. So definitely not settled in the car, that's for sure. He's going to get slowdown penalty there, so he's going to lose that place that he gained to Warren Pickering. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. I think he's good. Oh no, that's a big time crash. Miko Nassi loses the front end of the loses the rear end. It was just pushed it wide over that curbs. They are bumpy there. You get caught in the gravel, sends the car spinning. He has to dive into the pits, so lost the bonnet on the car there as well. It didn't look like too bad damage, but I mean he hit that tyre wall hard, sent him spinning. Aaron Lee still out there in second place, 11.1 seconds behind our leader. This battle for second, third and fourth, really nothing between them. They've pulled an 8.2 second gap now to Adam Sadler, who sits in fifth place. So these three in a little league of their own. It's not quite up there with Lenderman's, I have to say, but still very, very quick. Worth pointing out retirees, because I haven't mentioned him. We've lost obviously Brett Wilson with his brake issues. We've also lost Dong Wu Gang as well. So I'm not sure what happened with Gang there. He only did 2 laps, so that was very, very early in the race. Just saw in the distance there Miko Nasi returning to the circuit after getting his repairs. So where are we? 28 minutes into it. He might be able to make it from here. It might be just a little bit long with the fuel restrictions in place. We'll have to wait and see. Might not be as bad. I mean, he had the spin. He recovered very, very quickly. Got back onto the straight. So probably lost about 10 seconds or so, really, with the spin. Nothing more. The pit stop, if that will get him to the end of the race, might give him half a chance at sort of a reasonable, I'm going to say at 15th place or something like that, if he can start to motor from here. Looks like Danny really starting to put the pressure on Tobias. Well, I say that, and then Tobias got a great run through that midfield section there. So interesting to see the 3 different manufacturers in there as well. So we've got 1 McLaren, 1 Ford and 1 BMW. So just need a rough. Say Gavin's in the rough. No, he's not in the BMW. Still, the BMW seems to be the far more favoured car. Just see someone mention Victor. Just wanted to know where Victor was on in the race at the moment. Sitting there in 10th place. He's got a little buffer in front of him and a little buffer behind as well, but doing another strong job again this week, just as he did last. I think he had a little accident, if I remember rightly, actually, towards the end. That might have got my drivers confused there. But yeah, Victor for Blue Flag Racing, so Mark Warmington's teammate, doing a good job at the moment, sat inside the top 10. Looks like Matt Malone's coming under a little bit of pressure. Well, actually, there's a few car battle here. This is Young, Malone, Godet, Nelson here. So 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th place. Keep an eye on what these guys do just for a couple of laps. Not really change position at all. It's just purely they've started to come back together. Richard Brookfield as well, just looking at the timing sheet, just a couple of tenths behind Warren Pickering. I'll tell you what, we'll quickly look at that because it looks like he's closing in. Very, very good run up the hill, definitely looking for a way past. Pickering going a little bit defensive in the fast right-hander. That's just going to slow his exit down even more and give Brookfield another little opportunity through this tricky right-hander. Use the curve, it pushes you out wide. Oh, diving up the inside through the right-hander. He's going to be vulnerable here. Pickering, sorry, will need to hold it tight. He should be able to get that position back. Brookfield's going to have to hold it all around the outside, but just a little bit too wide. Now he's coming under pressure from Kogali there. Still with a run, maybe an opportunity into the chicane side by side. We saw how good he was on the brakes earlier on. Oh, that's very, very close. Good racing to avoid each other there. Pickering and Brookfield. Brookfield's now under even more pressure. Actually, it looks like Lewis didn't quite get the run off the corner that we were perhaps expecting. Just jump back to this 4-car battle that we had a moment ago. Looks like Matt Malone getting very, very tasty. Wants to have a little look. If anything, Brett's dropped a little bit off Chandra there, just with the pressure that he's getting and having to force to make a defensive move. Matt surely wants to get a run, but actually drop back a little bit through the faster right section and actually comes under a little bit of pressure himself now. Paul Nelson, this is the problem when you're in like a 3 or 4 car pack. It can switch from attack to defense really. Oh, Philip Stoneman I think might be caught up in something. He's in, well, that looks like an engine failure there as well, but clearly a spin. Let's just wind that back and have a look at the replay and see what's happened here. We're just coming through just come down the fast right-hander into the right-hander with the curb on the right there, into this right-hander where he's going to spin. What happens? Oh, just a self-spin. Oh, that's a big-time hit on the front. No wonder why that motor is toast. Will he be able to drive it back to the pits? I don't know. I think he's probably retired it back. We'll get a tow. No. He's trying to drive it. Car, the engine's not good, but if he can get it back, he'll get a quicker repair than he would have done. Tobias Cherney looks like he's into the pits as well. Let's jump back live. Currently 15-16 seconds. This is a long one, and that's not a great camera angle at all, is it? So yeah, I don't know what that's all about. Let's just change the driver there. We'll keep an eye on Tobias. He's still in there now, 26.9 seconds. So maybe Tobias going for tyres as well. We can't really tell. We didn't see that terrible camera angle, so sorry about that. But yeah, he's away. So one of the first drivers to make a pit from that leading trio. Just to obviously check in with our race leader, just so we get some airtime coverage. Marcus, you need to slow down. You need to make the race more interesting, and then we'll push your. I can bring you up on screen just a little bit more. Push your sponsors there. So yeah, Commander Sim Sports, for Racer Racing there. I believe, or sorry, for Racer. The sponsor, I believe, and one's design as well. So yeah, Marcus Luft's looking ultimately strong, still lapping about 0.8 of a second out in the lead. So, but yeah, pretty boring. So sorry, Marcus, we'll jump off of you and see if Danny can close in on Aaron now that Tobias is out of it. There's 1.3 seconds between them at the moment. You see the backfire coming off the back of Aaron's McLaren, known as the Flamethrower, is the MP4 12 seat. So actually it looks like now that the draft, Tobias has disappeared and there's no draft, it looks like Danny just dropping back 1.5 seconds now. So not a great run from there. He'll need to try and close that down, maybe just a little bit faster in this second section of the circuit. A lot of drivers into the pits now. We've got the worst camera in the world. There we go. Young's in, Jackson's in. We know Tobias has already gone in. Paul Nelson's in. Tim Ballinger's in. Lewis Kigali's in. Harrison O'Brien, Richard Brookfield, Pat O'Hara, Philip Stoneman. We know Nassi's already pitted. It was a 40-second stop. Oh, who was that? I'm not sure who that was actually. Trying to figure out who it was who had the little spin. I can't seem to work that out. Paul Nelson struggling out there as well, maybe involved in it. Let's have a little look at that back actually, just to see if it was Paul that got involved with the rough there. Coming out of pit lane, yes it was. Oh, just side by side into well, unfortunately that's that can happen here. That's one driver exiting the pits, the other trying to get the move done around the outside, and neither driver really paying too much attention to the other one to know what was going to happen there. So unfortunate, but nothing really but a racing incident on both drivers' part there. Marcus Lindemann has jumped in the pits now, and I believe has exited back in the lead after an 18.9 second stop. So he decided not to take tyres, it would appear. So 20 more minutes on there, but he's so far out in front, I really don't think he needs to worry about it. Another driver who hasn't taken tyres, I believe, is Aaron Lee as well. He's got Danny Collin right behind him. Tobias now quite a long way back actually, so decided to take tyres. I'm pretty sure of it. That can only be the difference. Tonight, really. And actually, it's been could be an interesting strategy. I mean, what's he lost? There's 9 seconds looking at this. Not even that, actually. It's probably close to about 6 or 7 seconds. So actually, if his car is half a second on that faster, if not more, like we saw at Interlagos, then he could be very, very quick. Just to pick up on what Josh has just asked, there's been much carnage tonight. We've seen a couple of little offs, but nothing really. I think what we just saw there between Paul was the first real coming together that we've seen. But yeah, it's been a relatively clean race throughout. What other battles? Let me just check, make sure we are live as well. Let me just. We've got Brett just 0.7 of a second behind Paul Mansell here. That's really about the closest battle we've got. Tim Jackson as well, similar sort of distance from Maluna, trying to recover after he went wide. And then of course we have got Danny starting to put the pressure on Aaron Lee. I think that's Brett Woods into the pits in the background. Yes, we can see Brett just coming in as well. So went a little bit longer than the rest. Let's just see actually if Brett decides he's going to take tyres. No, he's not. He's not jacked up at all. So just fuel for Brett. Let's just check in with Miko Nazi. 2.9 seconds behind John King. So I mean, he did lose in the pits probably. Yeah, I don't know, about 15 seconds actually. So, and then of course he lost time with the spin. So that set him back quite a bit. He is back on the lead lap now, mind you, and he might well stay on the lead lap, although that's going to be a tough ask, I have to say, if he's got any sort of real damage on that car. Drivers in range, I could say probably maybe up to about 18th place if he's got the pace, but some of those guys are quick drivers as well that are trying to make their way back up. So it's going to be a tough old race for Miko, and we'll see where he finishes up. Right, checking back in with the second, third, and fourth drivers. Let's get a call on this on the lap times of Aaron and Danny when they crossed the line. Obviously, Tobias, pretty confident, has got new tyres out there, substantially longer than anyone else in the pits. Either that or just the Ford is actually a lot slower to put fuel in than what we thought. Right, okay, so drivers come across a 135.8 for Aaron, a 36 flat for Danny, 0.7 of a second between them, but a 34.8 fastest man on the track that time by for Tobias Cherney. 3.5 seconds is the gap. Tobias is going to catch these guys. Whether or not he's going to get past is another thing. While they're still very close there, Danny's going to have the toe of Aaron, so it's going to make it quite difficult. Yeah, interesting observation from Josh there, just generally talking about the general cleanliness of the race so far. Just the one incident really, and that was just a bit of unfortunate, pit exit problem. Maybe just the difference of separating the two classes out, the Clubman and the Pro-Am, just keeps everybody on a closer footing generally, pace-wise we're talking, and less carnage at the start, and yeah, maybe we'll keep an eye on that. We'll reserve judgment for a few rounds anyway, because I expect we could easily have a big one next week at Virginia. Right, just have a look at any little battles further back. 16th and 17th, Harrison O'Brien, Warren Pickering. Warren slowly working his way back up, 16th place now. Yeah, Paul Nelson's retired from the race as well, so I'm guessing he must have had a little bit of damage. And then after the pits, that got repaired, and then, of course, that extra damage that looked pretty severe wasn't able to get repaired. So yeah, Harrison O'Brien though starting to work up on Warren Pickering here. Tim Jackson closing in on Gavin Sadler as well, 0.4 of a second. Let's just quickly take a quick look at that battle for the moment as well. Danny Conlon as well, getting very close once again. These guys have been close all race long, but no real moves are done. Tobias Journey 2.1 seconds back now, so he's coming at a serious rate of knots. It's over a second a lap now, so I'm not sure they're going to have anything for him once he arrives. That's for sure. So Tobias, to give an example, Tobias is half a second a lap faster than Marcus Lenderman out there at the moment, so the difference in tyres. So this is the thing, you take the Ford, get the best out of it, stay sort of in some relative position. We said we'd have to watch him in the pits because the Ford does fill up a bit quicker. I was pretty confident of that, unless Tobias has just been stifled all race long behind Aaron. Well, hopefully we'll get a word of him at the end just to find out what he did as far as strategy goes, but definitely looks like that's the advantage the Ford has. People moan and say it's actually a bit slower, but if you can make up that sort of time in the pits and then take the fresh rubber, it does bring in a very interesting concept. And these league races, opposed to the official races where you're forced to make a stop because of the fuel, it really does bring it in. So maybe that's something iRacing need to take on board and get sorted out, because yeah, definitely very interesting concept. Right, just having a little look. Kevin Hung as well, getting particularly close to Maluna here, just 0.3 of a second separating those guys. Harrison O'Brien, still that battle between Warren Pickering goes on, but still doesn't look like it's able to move, so we'll stay with this one just for the moment, although Kevin just lost a little bit of ground on Maluna. Seen that a lot today, actually. Definitely appears to be a distinct... Oh, sorry, I need to jump up because Tobias Cherney right on the tail of Danny Conlon here. So, but yeah, the difference seems to be the difference in the track, where people are fast in one sector, slower in another, and battles ebb and flow all over the place as the lap goes on. So, but yeah, let's keep an eye. Surely Tobias, then, is he going to have the drive that he needs? Danny's going to obviously have the slipstream off of Aaron, so it's going to make it very difficult for Tobias. I dare say this time back probably just a little bit far behind, 0.3 of a second. Nothing coming this time. Oh, gets a little bit out of shape actually on the entry there, so that Major Geeks car just yeah. Guys are going to start to feel the pressure. They've seen the rate of knots that Tobias has come up, and it's round this section he's going to be very fast coming out of here. Tobias needs to time his apex basically into the corner so that he gets a great drive off. Very close to Danny, just 0.2. That's 1/10 on the live timing, so maybe thinking about having a little bit of a look, but has to drop back through this fast right-hander. Very tricky. Obviously will get a bit of aero push even in these big GT cars through this fast right-hander, and it's this right-left, the fresh tyre surely is going to make a world of difference through here. And maybe this is where Tobias actually needs to go for a move. A little look up the inside, has a little look. Danny tries to hold it off. That's going to affect his exit somewhat. Tobias has got a great drive off. Surely this time he's going to get a move. Danny's going to have to defend. He doesn't. Tobias has a look under brakes. Tobias still doesn't go for it. I think he probably could have had a little bit of a committed move there if he'd have wanted to, but as we touched on earlier, Tobias doesn't take any risks. He will go for a move when, you know, the odds are that he's going to get through and that it's not going to affect either driver's race. So not many drivers out there. A lot of drivers would have just leaped in there at that chicane there, but what it has done is separated the drivers apart a little bit now. So Danny's getting less slipstream. Tobias just 0.3 of a second behind as they cross the start-finish line. Going to need to make a move pretty quickly, otherwise he's going to stifle his momentum that he had when he was closing in on them and just sort of settle into a bit of a rhythm, which is not going to be at all what he was after. And he having to defend the inside there. He definitely looks a little bit vulnerable all the time with it. He's just compromising his lines. It gives Aaron the opportunity to run away. 1/10 of a second again separates them as they come down that sort of sweep-in straight-away section. Danny's actually had a good run this time. Tobias going to try and maybe do it round the outside, see if he can get a run. Oh, thought about cutting back on the inside, nothing going, but actually that's ruined any chance he's got going into the chicane. So should have took a much wider arc into the corner if you wanted that cut back and get the drive off of the corner. So clearly seems like that's where Tobias is going to go for it. Maybe it's very close to a corner cut. We know you can get a corner cut penalty for that chicane there, but very close. It's crazy to see the height difference between the BMW and the Ford there, so you realise how low that Ford is. And I just wonder if anybody has seen the new Ford GT that's been doing the rounds on Facebook this week. Looks very sexy, I have to say. I want iRacing to scan it already. As a little look down the inside, side by side, this time through turn 1. Oh, there's a little bit of instant. Danny's around. You have to take a little bit of look at that back from a slightly further away camera. I'm not sure that was anything other than I don't know. Let's look at it back before we say anything. Actually, I'll say it might be a racing incident. Just looked like they were side by side and just clipped each other there. So Danny, just to let you guys know, Danny's recovered. He's still in 4th place, so he hasn't lost any additional place. So yeah, down the inside, both drivers very late on the brakes. You can see Tobias. Oh, do you know what? That's just an absolute world of netcode. Unfortunately, Danny's going to feel like that's he's been taken out there, but you know, you could get a bus through that gap. Okay, maybe a bit of exaggeration, but still, it was pretty bad. And yeah, Tobias will be gutted for getting a position like that. And then, of course, Danny will be gutted for losing it like that. So let's just hope that he just takes his time to look at what happened there before any sort of posts or chat get said, because yeah, those are the worst. Right, well, what we haven't done is paid too much attention to the clock counter for a while. We are down to 7 minutes left of this race. Where did it go? I've got no idea. I just want to also pick up again, like last week, I'm afraid I've got no time for interviews. Straight on to the Pro Series broadcast for me after this one. So I will just give everybody the final standards and jump off for that one. But yeah, tune into that. That starts in about 15 minutes time over on Race Spot TV. I don't mind promoting the other channels. It's great to have so many people doing broadcasts out there as well. And I haven't got it confirmed, but I do believe Checkered Flag Interactive are broadcasting the Clubman race right now over on their Twitch channel as well. So hopefully Mark Lang can confirm in the future for future rounds exactly how that's going to work. But yeah, Checkered Flag Interactive doing the Clubman's race at the moment. So been a few drivers missing this race. Of course, we've missed our championship leader in the race. So Bobby Yanovich not able to make it this week, or not able to make it into the server. We're not 100% sure which one. 29 spots up for grabs, of course. I can only see 28 drivers potentially turned up, so there could have been one available, but that could have easily been a driver disconnect taking up that spot. Who knows? But yeah, our championship leader couldn't turn up this week, so Aaron Lee will take the lead in the championship. Marcus Lenderman's going to jump himself way back in with a shout of this as well. So Tobias Cheney getting very close. 6 minutes. You have to think he's definitely got the high ground to make this move done. Obviously the lap times are slowed way down for him, but yeah, Tobias will jump back up in the championship if he can get a 3rd place. I have to say, if Aaron finishes in 3rd, this might make a little bit of a difference to exactly whether or not he's going to retain the lead, because by my calculations Marcus Lenderman will be on 90 points and Aaron Lee will be on no, it's 98 points, I think, if for 2nd. Should just about hold on to it, I would think. Gonna be close. I'm just hearing actually on YouTube, thank you very much Josh, Jovanovic actually did have other commitments this week, so he couldn't make it. So it's not just that he didn't get into the server, which is always good to hear. So yeah, just a drop week for Bobby. Tobias now having a little look. Let's just have a look. He's got 11 seconds behind Danny. Danny's held on to that. Danny's still got 7 seconds gap over Gavin Sadler. Sorry, I'm going to stick with this battle because it's for the final podium positions. There are some interesting little battles going on out there, but everybody seems to settle down. Victor Dravegaard up to 7th place. Kevin Hung 8th place. Those guys are separated by half a second. Paul Mansell, let me just quickly flash over to that. Paul Mansell, there you go, very, very close as well. But we'll jump back to Tobias because he's having a look once again into turn 1. Surely he's got his nose up the inside. Is he going to get side by side? No, he's not. Aaron's going to get the drive out of that corner. I definitely think Tobias's best opportunity, as we saw, is through that infield section. Just keep an eye on the speeds between the two of them as well. They go through the back straight, see what we can do as far as the draft for that Ford. Definitely carrying a little bit more speed, not a great deal, but he's getting up to a little bit more speed with the draft. So just as a bit of information, Steve Bocade is leading the Clubman race at the moment. Mark Lang joined us on YouTube. I'm guessing, Mark, that means your race has not gone too well over there. So yeah, unfortunately our race admin not had the best of race over in the Clubman race at the moment. But yeah, Steve Bouquet doing well, doing a great job. Tobias Journey, just 3 minutes left to try and make a move here for P2 in this race at Zandvoort. I have to say, I'm not sure he's going to do it all race long. Aaron Lee's been able to keep him behind him, and Danny as well. So, oh, he's made a mistake here. Surely this is Tobias's opportunity. He had to get out of it though. That surely has going to have affected any chance. Very, very close. Just 0.2 of a second this time into turn 1. It's Tobias's probably only opportunity. Heavy on the brakes. We see we know that the Ford is very good on the brakes. McLaren's just about. Aaron's hold it around the outside. He's going to have the high ground for the hairpin if he can hold it through this kink corner. And Tobias here decides that he's not going to try and risk it out of there. Will he get the drive out of this corner? I think he will, but is he going to get past? I'm not sure. Just see, it's so tight through this infield section, and we are herding that. We are herding. We have heard that Mark Lamb binned his car. So yeah, not the best of day for Mark, unfortunately. Let's just check in with our leader, 30.8 seconds in front, Marcus Lenderman, 2 minutes to go, just 1.5 laps, probably, well, less than that. Well, I don't know, he might get another one in, depending on where he is. I think he's going to, actually, yes, so probably he's got this one, this next lap coming up, and the one after, so that's going to be him done. Let's have a look a little bit at Victor as well. Dravegaard starting to close in on Maluna ahead. I don't think anything's going to happen between these guys. There hasn't been any overtakes for some time. Brett getting very, very close, just 0.2 of a second back as well from Tim Ballinger. Has a little look, but nothing going there. We've lost a few other drivers actually now as well, so it's worth picking up on that. Miko Nazi, George Fullerton, Tim Jackson, Pat O'Hara. They're side by side. Is well, I think that's Ballinger just about holding on to that there. That's Richard Brookfield, sorry, almost confused with Matt Malone's car. Look very, very similar. Brookfield, that's Woods, sorry, my mistake. So they're so close. The timing sheets all over the place, but in the end they just stayed exactly as they were. Tobias very, very close once again. Just doesn't seem to be able to get this move up. So close. I think he's got to do something around here. If he's going to do some sort of move, it's 30 seconds left. They will get another lap. The leader's going to make it through for one more lap. So time is running out for Tobias. His tyres will have worn out on them at this point. So they're both going to be suffering a little bit out there. The McLaren very, very fast in a straight line. Ford, as we know, overall not the best car. Thought Tobias again was going to go for a move. He's going to be close, surely into the chicane this time by. He's going to go for a move. Doesn't look like he's got quite the drive that he wants. 0.3 of a second back. He's too far back to make a move this time by. Oh, Aaron's gone in very, very deep into the chicane there. Tobias ends up going so tight that gets on the very, very bumpy sort of dry ski slope surface that's there. Look at the difference in lines between there. This time, I would think possibly a run. Let's see, 0.2 of a second. Aaron's going defensive already. Tobias is going to have to go wide. Aaron's all the way to the pit wall, round the outside. Tobias Cherney doesn't look like he's far enough back. Hasn't made it work. Great defensive driving from Lee here. Yeah, Tobias going to have to think of something just a little bit different this time by. Nothing going further back. Everybody's separated out half or so second. I mean, there are some great battles. Victor still in 7th place. Kevin Hahn behind him. Victor trying to do something with Maluna, but nothing happened. Just too much of a gap. This is the only overtake we're going to see in the final lap. I need to quickly point out that Marcus Lindemann will be coming across any time to take victory here at Zandvoort. We're going to jump back to this battle. Sorry, Marcus, congratulations. Great dive, dominant. But let's see if Tobias Cherney in the final lap. Aaron having to defend the inside there. Oh, that looks like a good run out for Tobias. He's got to go for a move. Surely, Aaron defending the inside, round the outside. You're just not going to go through there. And no, once again, Tobias Cherney just very, very safe and sportsmanlike drive there from him. We could have insisted on trying to work his way around that outside. In the end, that's cost him the position. I feel like he definitely had the potential, but you can't take nothing away from Aaron Lee. What great defensive driving. All race long, he's had someone behind him trying to get past into second place, but he holds on for a great podium finish. Tobias will be, I no doubt, will be happy with a podium, but I dare say feels like second place should have been his today. Danny Conlon coming across, newcomer to the series, one to watch out for sure. He was very fast today. Obviously, weren't for that netcode, would have been in and out that battle as well. Gavin Sadler coming across for 5th place. Just got to wait for everybody to filter through before we can give you some final stand-ins. Let's take a while. It just takes a little second for everybody to come across, but looks like we should be okay. Right. Just to confirm then, standing, we've still got a few people out there now, but everybody's gap's pretty large. Right, Marcus Lindemann takes victory, 32 seconds from Aaron Lee. Tobias Cherney in 3rd, Danny Conlon in 4th, Gavin Sadler in 5th, Maluna in 6th, Dravegaard in 7th, 8th is Kevin Hung, Mansell in 9th, Young in 10th place. Ballinger in 11th, Brett 12th, Lewis 13th, Brett Woods in 14th, Richard Brookfield, Harrison O'Brien, Warren Pickering, Matt Malone, John M. King, Philip Stoneman in 20th place, Mark Warmington, Miko Nassi, George Fullerton, Tim Ballinger, Pat O'Hara, Paul Nelson, Don Wigan and Brett Wilson never really start. Just to give you the confirmation, Clubman Series first was Steve Bouquet, Paul Rogers in 2nd, Frashak in 3rd, Paijo in 4th and Raymond Steer in 5th place. Congratulations to all those drivers and Marcus Lindemann. I am very sorry, I have got to rush it off here at Zandvoort, but I will be back next week for round number 4 of the Sim Racers Asia GT Simulator Series from Virginia International. It's going to be great. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.